Hello YouTube, Harlock here, and this is my unboxing of Ys, the Oath in Felghana for PSP. Some of you are probably wondering why I'm doing an unboxing. This game's been out for about a week or so. I actually got the game late, unfortunately, but I was able to snag a limited edition copy of it. I wanted to do an unboxing, and I wanted to show you a few extra things about the game, a little bit of history for it. So, get started here. First of all, I think the main thing that I wanted to let you guys know is that The Oath in Felghana is not an original Ys title. It's actually a reimagining of Ys 3 Wanderers from Ys. So it's the third Ys game reimagined completely in 3D. So initially the game was released for Japanese home computers in 1989, and it was very popular there, but it was different than the previous Ys games because they had changed the mechanics of it a little bit. They had made it a side scroller, and it's probably, of the original Ys games, it's probably actually the worst, in my opinion anyway. But it was more popular for Western gamers, I think, because the style was probably more popular. And one of the things about it is it's actually probably one of the best known Ys games in the West, because during the 16-bit era it was actually released for all three major systems. And so before I do my unboxing, I wanted to take a look at those releases. The first is the Sega Genesis release. And there it is in all its terrible 90s art glory. You can see the main character there has long red hair. The character in the game actually has short red hair. They took a lot of liberties with this. It's pretty cheesy 90s art, but the packaging's not too bad. It's pretty much what you would expect for 16-bit game, Sega Genesis. The Sega Genesis version is actually my least favorite of the three 16-bit versions that came to the United States. I think it has the worst graphics, the lowest quality music, and just an absolutely horrible translation. The translation is just really notoriously bad. They changed a lot of the names of the places, some of the character names. The last boss, which is kind of important, they changed his name. There's also quite a bit of grammatical errors in the game. One of my favorites is at the beginning of the game. In the opening, the two main characters, Adal and Dogi, are seeing this fortune teller, and the text describes the fortune teller as having long flowing back hair. Clearly in the picture she has long flowing black hair, but how somebody could miss that, it's pretty bad. Unfortunately, I don't have a manual. I do have the cartridge, obviously, in kind of bad condition, but that's okay. But that's the Sega Genesis version. The second version that I have here for you is the TurboGrafx version. This is actually the very first version of game that I played for the TurboGrafx CD. As you can see, it's a CD-ROM game. It's actually quite good. Probably the best thing about it are the anime-style cutscenes and the music. The music is excellent. It's streamed right off the CD and Redbook audio, so it's perfect, basically. But unfortunately, this version also suffers from a really pretty bad translation. The team that did the translation for the Genesis version, I think did the translation for this, because a lot of the same mistakes are there. The name of the town and the name of the country, which should be Felghana, I think it's Kenai in these versions. It's the same in both this version and the Genesis version, so it's odd that they would make that mistake. And also it's got some pretty bad 90s art on the front. Once again, you know, a shirtless hero with long hair. He just looks like some Conan looking dude. Pretty terrible. But as far as that goes, the game is, you know, the gameplay is good. Here's the last version I have for you. This is the Super Nintendo version. The cover art's a little bit more faithful, and actually, other than lacking the music and the cutscenes of the TurboGrafx version, this is probably my favorite version. It's got the best graphics out of all of them, not the best music. Again, it's obviously not CD quality, but, you know, good for a Super Nintendo version. It also has the most faithful translation. So, you know, the country is actually called Felghana, and it actually even has a really good manual with art from the Japanese version. Pretty cool, actually. So, those are the 3/16-bit versions of Ys 3, which is the basis for the Oath in Felghana. And more than likely, if you were a gamer and you played adventures or RPGs in the 90s, you played one of these. You know, and you probably liked it a good deal, but, you know, probably wasn't your favorite. But the Oath in Felghana really changes all that. And so now let's get to the unboxing of the Oath in Felghana.